Thank you all so much for joining us for today's Goji Games webinar. We encourage you, if you have any questions already, to go ahead and utilize the Q&A feature so that we can try to answer as many questions that you might have. Hopefully today you learn a lot and we answer all the questions so that you feel prepared to run Goji Games at your organization. If y'all want to start by using the webinar chat to kind of say where you're coming from, where you're tuning in from. We have a lot of folks here from different organizations around the United States. So it would be wonderful to hear where you're coming from. I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas. Really excited to be here with you this morning and to teach you and inform you about everything you need to know regarding this year's Goji Games. So let us know where you are tuning in from this morning. Or maybe if you're on a different coast, it might be the afternoon. And make sure that y'all have the ability to use the chat function. So we are going to enable that. Thank you for raising your hand. That helped us know that that is disabled. We're allowing you that feature. Okay, I'm seeing that we have folks coming in from Massachusetts. It looks like the Q&A is a place that folks are able to go to. So if you're able to use the Q&A feature, I see that someone is coming in from Shreveport, Louisiana. Wow. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you tuning in. All right, y'all. We're going to jump into Goji Games 2025. We are so excited to kick off Goji Games 2025 with this informational webinar. And our goal is to really help you better understand what we are going to offer this year, the games, the ages, the prizes, all the fun parts that come along with Goji Games 2025. Hopefully you've been getting our emails. Likely you have because you're here. We're so glad you're here and we cannot wait to dive into all the details with you all. Oh, I see someone's from Minnesota, Stan in Augusta, Anchorage, Alaska. Oh my goodness, and South Carolina. Thank y'all. Again, the Q&A is working. So if y'all want to go ahead and utilize that feature, thank you again for being here. My name is Emily Murray, and I am a user experience analyst at Blue Goji in Austin, Texas. So there are some names in this meeting that I recognize. So it's really great to see those familiar names. I'm also joined today by my colleague, Casey, who is our marketing director, and we are here to support you with Goji Games 2025. So we want to welcome you to our second annual Goji Games. This is our cardio esports tournament, and it is an amazing opportunity to engage your community, your members, and even yourself with some of our amazing Blue Goji games. So just really high level this year, let's talk about dates. We have a qualifier period this year starting from October 20th, running all the way into November 2nd. So this is a 2-week period in which you, if you choose to participate, your members will be able to qualify for our live game day. And don't worry, I'm going to get into all the details of what does it mean to qualify, how do I qualify? But right now, what you need to know is our tournament is going to begin on October 20th. October 20th is when your participants will begin to ride and compete to qualify for our live game day. After that qualifying period of 2 weeks, we're going to have a week-long break, and then we will come back together on November 8th live. So this particular day on November 8th, which is a Saturday, is when we're going to bring together our champions, folks who've made it past the qualifier phase, in order to battle it out with that friendly competition for first, second, third place in Goji Games. So something that is helpful is kind of thinking about it like the Olympics. The November 8th is the day that we come together and compete. So all those riders who've made it through that qualifier phase will be able to compete live on November 8th. So what is the Goji Games? If you are new here, welcome. If you're not new here, maybe think about what's the same from last year and maybe what are some differences. It's a multiplayer event. So riders will be able to represent their facility to compete for the top spots on the Blue Goji bike leaderboards. Those who qualify, as I mentioned before, during that 2-week qualifier round will compete live in the final round on November 8th. So this tournament is a big tournament. There are 4 divisions, and we'll get into what those means. We have 6 games, more games than last year, 12 tournaments, and $210,000 in donations for winning nonprofits. So there is a lot on the line, and it is really exciting, very exciting. And for those of you who just joined us, welcome. I want to take a moment to take a look back to Goji Games 2024. And we actually have, it seems, some staff members from our organization that was very successful in our first Goji Games, which is the YMCA Stanton Augusta. They were able to raise $120,000 for their organizations by participating, competing, and winning in Goji Games. So congratulations to Stanton Augusta from Goji Games 2024. We also would love to shout out the City Hawks, Mystic Valley YMCA, and Central Maryland YMCA. These organizations were able to fundraise this amount of money to bring back into their organization, which is extremely exciting. And we have this year the same amount of money on the line that your organization can fundraise by competing in Goji Games. So let's talk about the divisions. So if we go back to that image where we talked about our divisions, we have 4 different divisions, and it is based on age generally, but I do want to point out one division that is very special. So we have the youth division, and the age for the youth division would be 13 through 18. The adult division is 18 through 64. Staff is any age. So if you are tuning in and you are a staff member, you would qualify for this division because you are a staff member that participates in the Blue Goji bikes. Potentially you work at the facility where riders ride and you support them. That would be you. You would qualify for the staff category. And we also have the active older adult category, which is age 65 plus. The reason that we have these age divisions is really to make sure it's fair, fun, and we want to make sure that riders of all ages can participate in this year's Goji Games. When we say age, I just want to make a little disclaimer that this would be the age as of October 20th. When we think back to when does the qualifying round begin, it is October 20th. So consider your age or your riders' ages when that qualifier period begins. Before I move on and talk about games, go ahead and use that Q&A if you have any questions about divisions. And remember, you as a staff member can play too. Head over to the Q&A if you have any questions about divisions. All right, so let's talk the games for Goji Games. Last year we had 3 games for Goji Games, and this year we're up to 6, which is really exciting. So I want to take a moment to orient you to these games. Maybe some of them are familiar to you, maybe some of them are new, and that is okay. So the different divisions or those different groups of age groups have different games. For Creature Crunch, the active older adult division, the adult division, and staff division will be able to compete in a Creature Crunch tournament for Goji Games. And it's okay, you do not have to memorize all this information. We will have all this information available to you, and we will absolutely be following up with you in order for you to understand which games are going to be played by which division. So we have Go Bikes.
Hey, Emily?
Yes.
Do you mind if I chime in for a second?
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Casey. And we had a great question come through from Diego, kind of about that last slide about divisions. Can a staff person also compete as an adult? That is a great question. And the answer is once someone chooses what division they're in, they're locked into that one division. So you have to choose if you're going to be a staff or an adult. So the answer to that is no. Once you're able to sign up for a game, you're going to be locked into whichever division that is. So thank you, Diego, for that question.
Great question and great answer. And when you, as Casey mentioned, sign up for Goji Games, you will be selecting your division and locked into that division. Great question. And hopefully, I'm sure other people had that question just like you. Our other games, Vintage Wings, Go Battle, Castle Cart, and Solitaire, you can take a look and see which divisions will be participating in those games. So we can see Vintage Wings, the youth division, the adult division, Go Battle, the youth division, the staff division, and so forth. We're really excited that we have more games this year for this year's Goji Games, which means an amazing opportunity to learn new Goji Play games. So go ahead and use that Q&A if you have any questions about those games and those divisions. So now let's talk tournaments. You've probably heard that word. Tournaments really apply to this live day on November 8th. If you qualify in your division in that game, you will be eligible for this live tournament. The youth division is going to have 4 different tournaments. The adult division will have 3, the staff will have 3, and the active older adult division will have 2 tournaments. And those little icons, I'm sure you're going to get to know them and love them throughout this year's Goji Games. Those little icons demonstrate what the game is that your division will be eligible to compete in.
Awesome. And we have another question that just came through, Emily,
Mm-hmm.
from Bonnie. And she asks, why aren't the older adults allowed to play in more than just 2 games? So I'll go ahead and answer, and then Emily, if you want to add to it. But this is just based on last year and the involvement that we had. So we had a lot of youth interested that were able to engage and show up. And the older adults, if we have a higher turnout this year, then we'll expand that for them in the following year. But I do want to make a clarification. If you are a facility, say a senior living community or something that caters to more of older adults, you can bring in a youth individual. You can bring in someone's grandchild to compete on behalf of your organization. If you are a school and someone's very involved parent wants to participate or grandparent wants to participate as an older adult, they can do that as well. They just need to be at your location using your bike for this specific event. So you can get creative with how you can expand into other divisions if you are an organization that caters to just one of them.
Thank you, Casey. Great question and great answer. Hopefully that helped everyone. So let's talk about what's up for grabs. We kind of mentioned this at the very beginning. For each tournament, and when I'm saying tournament, I'm talking about the division and the game. So there are 12 tournaments on that live game day on November 8th. So for each of those 12 tournaments, there will be a first place winner. And that first place winner will fundraise $10,000 for their organization. For each tournament, there will also be a second place winner. And that second place winner will fundraise $5,000 for their organization. And lastly, the third place winner, they will fundraise $2,500 for their organization. So this is a really amazing opportunity for your members, your community to fundraise for your organization. Again, there are 12 tournaments, so there are ample opportunities for your community members to fundraise this prize for your organization. And so let me give you one example. The youth category will be competing in Go Bikes, and there will be a first, second, and third place in that live competition. Much like adult Creature Crunch, there will be a first, second, and third place. So again, there's 12 opportunities or tournaments that will be fundraising opportunities. And again, if you have any questions, make sure that you go to that Q&A. There's a lot up for grabs, and we are so excited. Our founder is so excited to fundraise and donate to the organizations that participate in Goji Games. So who's eligible to participate? In order to compete your team needs to be a registered 501c3, which is a nonprofit. And likely y'all have been getting the emails and your organization is a nonprofit. Just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that that is a qualification for Goji Games. Also, you do need to have our Blue Goji Espresso or Cyber Cycle bikes with Goji Play software, and you have to have that active subscription. So a quick check is to just make sure you can think in your head of what your handlebars look like at your facility. And if you have those upright handlebars, the gaming controllers, or those recumbent handlebars that are on the screen as well, you have the Goji Play software. Another indication that you have the Goji Play software is that you have all of our Goji Play games. And so here's a little snip of what your screen might look like with Creature Crunch and Go Bikes, some of the games that we're featuring in this year's Goji Games. So let's talk schedule. We know that this is a big question, and the logistics are often something that take a little bit of time and planning. So in early October, the athletes at your facility will be able to register for Goji Games. So this year for Goji Games, your athletes, when they log onto their bike using their username and account, they will have a pop-up, and I'll show you what that looks like, that invites them to join Goji Games. This same pop-up will be available on the app as well. So this is a great opportunity to encourage members or even yourself to download the Blue Goji app so that when early October comes around, you can be ready to sign up for this year's Goji Games. So this is a little bit different than last year. If you're familiar with last year, this year you will be able to sign up on the bike and on the app. So what can you do in the meantime, right? Well, we can be practicing, training, or competing internally with athletes and members at your gym. And again, thinking of those games that have been laid out for each division, you can strategically encourage your members to practice and begin training for those specific games. So there is a little bit of time, and we wanted to make sure that you had the information ahead of time. So early October is when you will be able to, as a rider, register for Goji Games 2025. And then of course we have that qualifiers phase. So the qualifiers phase is a 2-week period, and your riders can play at any time. They can come to the gym or the facility and they can ride and try to make it onto the top spot on the leaderboard. And we will be taking those top spots on each game's leaderboard to that live competition. We're going to have a week-long break after the qualifiers period and before the final tournament so that we can communicate with all of our participants, organizations, and athletes and give you all the information that you need in order to compete on that live tournament day on November 8th. So let us know in the Q&A if you have any questions about the schedule. And just a little note about the schedule as well. We will be providing you the schedule far ahead of time for November 8th because we know that scheduling and planning is really important. So you will be able to see for each tournament. So again, the tournament is that division plus the game. You will know when those tournaments will be held on November 8th, which time of day they will be held. So that can help you with communicating to your members as well. So what can you expect on your bike? I mentioned that early October is when you should expect to see the way that you register for Goji Games 2025. So what you can expect to see on the bike is a pop-up, and it will invite you to participate in Goji Games. It will have very similar information to what I'm sharing here today. It will tell you how it works, the divisions and the ages and the games that you can sign up for. As Casey mentioned earlier, you will be locked into that division when you sign up for Goji Games. It's also going to invite you to choose the games that you would be interested in competing in. So as we saw before, the youth category has 4 different games that the youth could sign up to compete in. That active older adult category has 2 games, right? So during that sign up period on your bike or on the app, you are going to be able to select which games you want to compete in. So maybe you are an expert at Creature Crunch and you want to sign up for Creature Crunch and Creature Crunch alone. You can absolutely do that. Maybe you are open to learning the new games and interested in training and practicing. So what you can do is you can actually think about signing up for all the games in your division, and you can give it a try. That way you have multiple opportunities to compete and try to make it to the top of that leaderboard. Once you are in Goji Games, you're going to be able to follow along throughout that qualifier period. That qualifier period is that 2-week period where we are able to determine who are the top riders in divisions and games. And so we'll have special Goji Games leaderboards, which is very exciting. And so you have those 2 weeks to pedal and practice and play. And at the end of those 2 weeks, if you are a rider who qualifies and makes it to that live tournament day on November 8th, your name will be highlighted and you will know why. And you will know why and when you are moving along to that live tournament day on November 8th. So you'll see that we have very similar language. Division is really that category, that group that you're competing in. We have the games, and then we have those leaderboards. So you should expect to see this on the bike in early October. And again, make sure that if you have any questions, that you go ahead and ask them so we can clarify anything that might be unclear. I do want to mention here that during the qualifier period, as many participants can practice and play and train and try to make it into that live tournament day. For the live tournament day, the amount of participants that can make it to that day is determined on how many bikes that you have. So for example, if you are in the general adult category and you have 7 general adults who are very successful in Go bikes, they are training, they are practicing, they are very fast, and maybe they're even faster than some other orgs, but you have 5 bikes, 5 athletes will be able to compete in that live tournament. Because of the nature of our tournament, it's a live day where we're competing at the same time, kind of like the Olympics. The bike count does determine how many athletes are going to be able to participate. So just keep that in mind. I see a great question. The question is, when will the marketing assets be released? Thank you for asking that great question. We have on our general bluegoji.com/Goji Games website, we have some general information, and we're building that out today. So stay tuned. Today and moving forward through October, we will continue to be adding those marketing assets onto that landing page. So I did want to ask, I want to take a poll. And I want to see how many bikes your org has. And if you have any questions about that, the concept of the live day and those bike counts contributing to the amount of participants. So I just started the poll, and the poll says Goji Games bike count. So go ahead into that poll and let us know how many bikes you have. Awesome. Wow, so I'm seeing that we're ranging from 1 to 5 or 7. So even if you have 1 bike, as Casey mentioned earlier, you can be strategic on those divisions, thinking about encouraging community members to participate in Goji Games. And with 1 bike, you could still have a lot of participation, being strategic with those divisions. Awesome. Thank you all for participating in that poll. It looks like a few more people are putting their results in the poll. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end it. I want to show you what to expect on the app. So hopefully you have our Blue Goji app on your phone. If not, great opportunity to download it now or later on when you hop on the bike. So on the app, you will see a very similar pop-up to the bike. On the app, you're going to be invited to participate in Goji Games around October, the beginning of October. It's going to explain the concept of Goji Games. Not only is this available to you, but this is available to anyone who has the app at your organization. And much like with the bike, the pop-up to inviting participants to join Goji Games will be available to anyone who has an account. So not just you as a staff member. You will be invited to join. You will be invited to choose your division, which you are locked into. And then you will be invited to sign up for games. So again, maybe you want to sign up for one of the games in your division, Or maybe you want to sign up for all of the games in your division and you want to spend time just practicing and improving those at those games. After you sign up for Goji Games, you will have a spot, a section on your app dedicated to those Goji Games leaderboards, much like you saw on the bike. So you'll be able to keep up with your organization, other organizations. You're going to be able to keep up with your division. So I would be maybe I would be in the staff division. So I could see other staff members, how they are competing in the games. But if I want to go check out my sibling who is in the youth division, I can also filter my leaderboard and go check out how my sibling is progressing in Goji Games as well. So you should expect to see this around October 1st, and you can sign up for Goji Games on the app or on the bike. And all your riders who have accounts can sign up on the app or on the bike. So in the meantime, it could be a really great opportunity to encourage your riders or the members of your community to create accounts, Blue Goji accounts, so that way they are able to have that pop up and be able to sign up and have those full 2 weeks to participate and compete in order to make it to that live tournament day. So we had a great question about resources, and I just wanted to show you all the resources that will be available. Some are already available, so go ahead and check out bluegoji.com/Goji Games. We're going to be promoting, there are opportunities to promote the event through promotional posters that we're providing. We have info flyers. I know that I've already sent some out to folks who have requested them. We have logos, which you can use in your emails or social media. We will give you copies of emails so you can recruit members. And then we also have game tutorials. We post a lot of game tutorials and videos and even just written tips and tricks on our social medias. So a great idea is to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, so that you can get those tips and tricks of the different games that are going to be in Goji Games 2025. All right. So let's talk about incentives. Of course, there's a lot on the line with this tournament, with the fundraising opportunity for your organization. We also have some recommendations for individual incentives for athletes. These are just recommendations. We encourage organizations to get creative with ways to involve athletes so that the athletes are equally invested. So some ideas of ways to engage individual athletes would be to host a celebration or some type of party in your facility. Potentially, if you're able to provide opportunities for athletes to earn a gift card or a prize, maybe there could be a Hall of Fame, a section in your facility where you're able to shout out athletes who participated, who rode, who played a lot during that qualifier period, and they were able to advance. So you could have a Hall of Fame or maybe even dedicate their name. We also have Goji Games medals. And of course, we're going to be awarding our athletes who win with medals, t-shirts, and that amazing fundraising money as well for their organization. So of course, we have the more general, big organizational fundraising opportunity, but there's also ways to engage individual athletes. And here's some recommendations. And we will be providing t-shirts and awards to those who are winners in this year's Goji Games as well. Again, I'm going to continue on with some of the recommendations. We hope that you utilize our landing page with all the resources. There's lots of marketing tools that can target more than just your fitness fanatics or cycling enthusiasts. These divisions are very diverse, and the games have all types of objectives. So maybe you can engage even different community members than your cycling enthusiasts. We also hope that you are able to recruit and train your staff and your youth. The youth category does have those 4 games, as Casey mentioned, due to the large turnout in youth last year. And so trying to engage youth or maybe even staff members to participate in that staff category. And then we recommend that you practice or encourage your participants, your riders, to practice. And I'm going to pop another poll where we would love to know if you would like to practice with Blue Goji expert coaches. So before that qualifier period that begins on October 20th, would you like to work with us and learn some tips and tricks about some of these games so that you have a great shot at making it high on the leaderboard? So go ahead and head over to the poll, and we would love to know which games and which times of days would be best for you, or if you consider your members, to learn and train with our Goji play games. So the first question just kind of asks you which games would you need help training for? And the second question would be what time of day? If we were to offer these virtually, if any of you all are familiar with live Summer Thursdays, where we collaborate live at one time, playing multiplayer games, we would love to provide those opportunities for you if that sounds engaging and interesting. Interesting. So I'm seeing that many folks would be interested in learning more about Creature Crunch. Definitely a game where there's lots of tips and tricks available. All right. Thank you again for engaging. Very helpful for us to be able to see, and just be on the lookout in your emails for opportunities to practice with Blue Goji expert coaches. And then our last recommendation is to compete internally if you can. So now that you know which games are going to be in each division, you can engage your community members and host multiplayer gaming events, or maybe even an activation event where you inform your community members about Goji Games 2025 and let them know the amazing things at stake and also the ways that they can begin to prepare even far before the qualifier period. Again, I want to give you that overview because I know that these dates are extremely important. October 20th to November 8th, that is that qualifier period where you get to ride, play, compete, and try to make it to the very top of the leaderboard for your division and game. So for that tournament. And then the finals, they will be live. So our Blue Goji employees here at Austin HQ will be coming in to our office, and we are going to be hosting a live tournament, and we're going to have that live schedule. We'll have different time slots, kind of like the Olympics, if you can keep that in your mind. And we are going to be hosting and emceeing these live events, and you will be able to see right after your event those leaderboards, who comes in first, second, and third place, which will be very exciting and very fun. And last year we had great feedback that people really enjoyed that live tournament day on November 8th. So I wanted to show you all a quick video that kind of shows you what it looks like. So some of you probably already know because I've seen you at Summer Thursdays, or maybe you've been playing these Goji Play games for a long time. For those of you who are newer to Goji Play, some of these new games, I'm going to just show you what they look like. And if you have any questions about any of these games, we would love to hear it. We're always thinking about ways to support our riders with better understanding our games. So I'm going to show you a few of the games that are featured in this year's Goji Games.
Meet our math-munching maestro, the hungry pink monster with an insatiable appetite for numbers. Your goal? Tilt the board, combine like numbers, and feed the creature with your mathematical genius. But here's the twist. You can match ones and twos too. In the top left corner, get a sneak peek of the next tile to strategize your moves. Pedal faster, crank up that resistance, and watch those points soar. Practicing Creature Crunch in classic mode is your ticket to victory in the Goji Games. Play in against other members in multiplayer mode to see who performs.
Emily, I think we lost that audio when you went on mute.
This is a weight. It's not just a workout. It's a high-speed challenge for your agility and strategy. First things first, customize your experience. Pick your avatar, colorize that racing gear, and stand out on the track. The more you play, the more customization options become available. Choose your trail, park, islands, or mountains. Practice for the Goji games by racing bots, challenging your friends in multiplayer mode, or enjoying a solo ride through virtual landscapes. Practice all trails to prepare for the tournament rounds. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Unleash your advantage with cleverly designed items that can turn the tide of any race. Keep an eye out for mystery boxes as you speed through the tracks. Your key to gaining these game-changing power-ups and throwing off your competitors. Get ready for the ultimate fusion of fitness and fun. It's time to conquer the virtual tracks in Go Bikes, where every pedal takes you on a guaranteed high-intensity workout adventure.
It's time to dive into the heart-pounding world of Go Battle, the ultimate game for interval training that takes you on an adrenaline-fueled journey around the battlefield on your blue Goji bike. From the nostalgic thrill of Capture the Flag to dominating the terrain as the king of the hill, move around in your tank as you conquer challenges, battle enemies, and navigate through obstacles. And the course map in the top left corner is your guide to victory. To enter the Goji Games in the Go Battle division, assemble your dream team of 4. The 4 athletes representing your organization will need to communicate, strategize, and conquer the battlefield together.
I love showing those clips of our different games. Those are 3 of the games that will be in this year's Goji Games. So you were able to see Creature Crunch, you were able to see Go Bikes, and also Go Battle. I did want to make a little note about Go Battle. Go Battle is our team game. If any of you were familiar with that game, if not, no problem. Because of the team nature aspect of the game, just be on the lookout on the leaderboard of how we are going to be getting athletes into that live tournament day. So Go Battle would be a little different than our other games due to the fact that it is a team-based game. And so your team will be made up of folks at your organization. And I would love to show you a little clip of what does it look like when we do live broadcast. So on that live tournament day, when you have those slots of time, if you make it to the championship and you are competing, I'm going to show you a clip of what that looks like. It's really fun. We've heard great feedback from riders that they really enjoy those live tournaments.
Jumping over those spikes. The goal of Castle Cart is to complete all 8 checkpoints. Look at the speed on L. Brady. Here we have our first leaderboard for today. Dog in a Plane came in first place. Again, my name is Emily, and I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas. The green team with 5 towers captured. Here we have Johnny approaching the red tower, and the green team has captured the tower, but Johnny is not now out of fight. El Brady and Elliot Creed battling it out on what appears to be a cliff. The green team has 3 and the red team has 3. We have 1 minute left. The green team is not slowing down. They have captured 4 towers. Will they move the score to be in their favor? And the red team has 1. Oh my goodness, that was an exciting game.
So as soon as the game or the ride or the race is over on that live tournament day on November 8th, you will be able to see the winners for your tournament. And again, that tournament is your division plus the game. There's 12 tournaments, lots of opportunities to have fun, to get a great workout, and also to fundraise for your organization. If you have any questions, we have some time. Please head over to the Q&A and ask any questions. And if you have any questions that come up later, you don't have them right now, feel free to email us at events@bluegoji.com. We would love to answer your questions as they come up, as you begin to prepare for Goji Games. And of course, our landing page is a great resource right now. It's been sent out via email at bluegoji.com/Goji Games. This is a great question. So we have a question come in saying, how is solitaire a multiplayer game for the tournament? Great question. So for multiplayer means that our games, you can have more than 1 player, even if the objective is solo. So for example, Go Bikes, when you're racing, multiple people can play but there's only one winner. So it's still kind of that solo game. For solitaire, we're building a function in that game where multiple people can compete at the same time. And the goal would be to try to finish that solitaire game the fastest. So it's multiplayer where it can host more than one person, but there's still going to be one winner, one second place, one third place. And that will be determined by the time it takes the rider to complete that hand. I hope that answered your question. Really great question, because we don't have solitaire multiplayer yet. So that's coming, and that's very exciting. That is a great question, Diego. So we had a question come up asking, is there a way to check on the internet connectivity on the bike itself? So you can check the internet by using that code, the admin code, which I'll go ahead and follow up with in an email to you. And that way you can just make sure that your connection is strong on the bike. And then if I didn't answer your question, we can go back and forth in email and we can try to get you that answer. But my suggestion would be to use the settings, that code that I'll give you, and you will be able to check connectivity that way. That's a great question. We're really excited. We're really excited to host Goji Games 2025, and we really thank you so much for being here. Okay, this is a great question. And this question is going to help a lot of people. So the question was, I'm a little confused for the live event in if we only have 3 bikes, how can more than 3 people participate? That's a great question. So the answer is, when we think about that live event, the live event is going to begin sometime in the morning, let's say 9 a.m. We have the live event. It'll be available on the landing page that's scheduled for you, and we'll run all the way through 5 p.m. So we're going to space out those 12 tournaments. So there will only be able to be 3 people at a time riding the bike, but you'll just be switching out your athletes. So maybe you have an adult athlete who's competing in Creature Crunch at 12 p.m. When their race is over or their game is over, they would hop off the bike and somebody else could hop on the bike and they could compete in, let's say they're an active older adult solitaire at 12:30. So you'll just be having your participants kind of hopping on and off the bike depending on the games that they make it to that live championship day. If that didn't answer your question, please ask again, but hopefully that helped you. That schedule for the live event, we don't have more than 1 event at a time, just 1 event at a time. Great question. The question was, will there be multiple stages on the live event, or will it be straight to finals? This is a great question. So on this live event, it will be straight to finals. So if your racer or you make it to that live event, they are going to compete 1 time in that game. So for example, you are an adult, you make it to the finals or that live day for Creature Crunch. You are going to compete, and during that time, let's say 10 minutes, there will be a winner, a first place, a second place, a third place. The one caveat I will make is that for Go Battle, because it's team-based, we are going to have 4 teams make it to the live event. So for Go Battle, we're going to have 2 versus 2 battle it out. And we'll have 2 different events for Go Battle if it is in your division. And the reason is because it's a team-based game. We don't have individual leaderboards. And so that's the only difference. Yes, that's such a great question. We're going to post a webinar on our YouTube and likely link it on our landing page. So you will have all the information that you need. Go Battle, great question. Can have up to teams of 8, which is amazing. So your team of Go Battle can be up to 8. Now, it is okay if you do not have 8 bikes. You can still compete and try to make it, or your participants at your facility, they can try to make it into Go Battle if there's 1 bike. In order to make it to that live day for Go Battle, we're gonna make it based on the amount of time spent practicing. And this is because Go Battle is a unique game. It's team-based. So up to 8 people can participate on your team for Go Battle, but also you can have 1 person and then they can compete for Go Battle as well. Awesome. These are really great questions. And again, events@bluegoji.com. We'd love to answer any other questions that you have, and be on the lookout on our website, bluegoji.com/Goji Games. And we thank you so much for your time, and we are so excited for this year's Goji Games, and we hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.
In first place, River
Did you have a question, Antoinette?